Problem number 30. They're asking you to find the sum of 2,300 and 276. What is the sum? What do we understand by sum? The sum is the result of an addition statement. So if they're asking you to find the sum of 2,300 and 276, all you need to do is to add these two numbers, 2,200 plus this number. So we're going to have our missing value, or the sum will be this plus 276. Now let's operate that. So it's going to be 200. Let's align them vertically. 0 plus 6, 6. 0 plus 7, 7. 2 plus 3 makes a 5. And a 2 itself. So the sum is 2,576. Problem 31. What number times 7 1/3 equals 44? So this is a translation problem. What number stands for our well-known box times, it's a multiplication, 7 1/3 equal 44. So what are we missing? We're missing a multiplier. Therefore, we must divide. We must divide the product, because this is the product, and these are your multipliers. So let's divide. The product 44 divided by the non-multiplier, which in this case is 7 1/3. Now, for us to divide fractions, we must change them into regular fractions, like improper fraction. This mixed numeral, let's change it to improper fractions. And this 44, let's make it a fraction by adding a 1 underneath. Times 3 times 7 is 21 plus 1 is 22. I'm sorry, here should be a division. 22 over 3. Now we must change this into a multiplication statement. To do that, we must use the reciprocal of this number. So we're changing this for multiplication. So let's use the reciprocal. Let's reverse the order. So it's going to be 3 over 22. Now we must reduce this. Now in order for us to reduce, we must write them as a product of prime numbers. So let's do that on the side. 44. 44 will be 4 times 11. And that 4 is going to be 2 times 2 times 11. So instead of writing 44, I'm going to write 2 times 2 times 11 over 1 times 3. What about 22? Earlier in the semester, we learned a shortcut. If a number repeats like 33 or 22 or 44 or 66, they're multiples of 11. They're 3 times 11, or this is 2 times 11, 4 times 11, and 6 times 11, so far up to 99. Now, so instead of writing 22, we're going to write 2 times 11. Now let's see what we can cancel out. A 2 and a 2 is gone, so you're left with 1. And 11 and 11 is gone. So our final answer will be 2 times 3, 6 over 1. And 6 over 1 is 6. Therefore, that's your missing number. Problem 32. Find the average. What is the average? The average is the sum of all the numbers divided by the amount of the numbers. In this case, how many numbers are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, it's going to be the sum of all of this divided by 4. So, the sum divided by 4. Now, let's find the sum. The sum is the addition of all of them. So, let's add them. So, let's align them because they're vertical numbers. So, let's align them because they're decimal. So, it's going to be 5.5, 7 wholes, 409, and 620. 620. Let's add them. 9. Oh, this space you can fill it with zeros. 9, 5. We keep our same decimal point, right? Because these must be aligned. 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 4 is 16. Carry a 1. 1 times 2 is 3, and 6. Therefore, the sum is going to be 636.54. Now, I must divide that by 4. So, where did the 4 came from? The 4 is the amount of numbers, like how many numbers there are. This case was 5.5, 1, 7, 2, 4.09, 3, and 620. That makes 4 numbers. So it's going to be the sum of all of them divided by 4. Now let's finish finding the average. So we must do a division. So let's do this division here. 636.54 divided by 4. Now we start here. Our decimal point is here, so decimal point must be here. 4 goes into 6 ones. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract that. That becomes 2. Bring this down. Becomes 3. 4 goes into 23 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract, becomes 3. Bring the 6 down. 4 goes into 36 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. Goes evenly. Now bring the 5 down. I'm running out of space. So I'm going to scroll this down a little bit. Okay, so 4 goes into 5 now. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract that. 1. Bring this down. 4 goes into 14 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. So 14 minus 12 is 2. Now here we had as many zeros as we wish. So let's bring in another 0 here. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. And we're left with 0 remainder. So our division went evenly. So it's going to be, the average will be 159 and 135. What is this place? 10 100,000. So it will be 135 thousandths. That will be our average. So the average of all of these numbers is this amount. So you add them up and then divide it by the amount of numbers. In this case 4. Now let's find the difference between those numbers. And let's recall what's the difference. The difference is the result of a subtraction statement. So the difference between 10 and 4 and 5/8 will be 10 minus 4 and 5/8. But now, how do I perform this subtraction? We must align them. So let's align this 10 and 4 and 5/8. So we cannot subtract 0 in the fraction part. We cannot subtract 0 minus 5/8. Therefore, we must say, okay, 10 whereas 1. So he borrowed 1, but this 1 is going to be 1 over 1. Now, but they must have the same denominator, and the LCD between 1 and 8 is 8, so this should become 8 over 8, correct? Now, how did that happen? Well, 1 over 1 multiplied times 8 top and bottom, that's A8. So 1 whole is equivalent to 1 over 1 multiplied times 8 give you A8. At this stage, you're supposed to know this. So let's just perform the operation. 8 minus 5 is 3, 3/8. 9 minus 4 is 5. Therefore, this is our final solution. Yes, because 3/8 is in its simplest form. Therefore, the difference will be 5 and 3/8. Let's keep performing these translation problems. So let's translate this. What percent? What does that mean? Well, that just means your box. Of means multiplication. 30 is a number that you're going to have there. Is means equal. And 2.4 is just a number. Now, what are we missing here? We're missing a multiplier, therefore we must divide. The product, this is the product here, this is the product. So it's the product divided by the non-multiply, the 30. Now let's divide it. So 2.4 divided by 30. Let's be aware of the decimals. Now, because this is a whole number, we're fine. Okay, so this is a decimal point here. 30 goes into 2 0 times 30 is 0. Subtract that, that becomes 2. Bring the 4 down. 30 goes into 24, it's still 0 times. So 30 times 0 is 0. We subtract that, give us 24. And here we have as many zeros as we wish. So let's bring this down. Now, 30 into 240, let's make a guess. Maybe 8. Let's see, 30 times 8. 0, 24. Yes, I applied the shortcut here. You can do that in your own. So 30 times 8 is gonna give me 240, and it went evenly. Therefore, our missing part, this box here, the box is equal to 0.08. But wait a minute, what did they ask you? They asked you to find what percent. So it means that this number here must be a percent. Therefore, let's convert this to a percent. So how do I make this a percent? To make a percent, we're going to multiply by 100. Therefore 0.08 times 100%, right? So 0.08 times 100. Any method that you want, you do it by hand, you do the shortcut however you like. So in this case I'm going to apply the shortcut, move to space to the right, and that becomes 8%. And that's our final answer. Let's move on. 35. Another translation problem. So we have to translate 32%. Well, that's 32% of. What does of mean? We must multiply 14.6 is, which stands for equal what number? That's going to be our box. So they're asking you to find 32% times 14.6. I cannot do this operation because I have a percent involved. I must translate, or I must convert this 32%. So I must divide this by 100. So let's divide this by 100. So 32 divided by 100, and if I apply the shortcut, I'm going to move this to the left. Therefore it's going to be 0.32. So 0.32 times 14.6 equals to what? So 0.2. So 0.32 times 14.6. So what are we missing now? We're missing a product, so therefore we must multiply. So let's multiply this. 0.32 times 14.6. Do we need to align them? No. Six times 2 is 12, carry 1. 6 times 3 is 18, so plus 1 will be 19, and carry 1. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 1, 9. Now let's do the next digit. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12, carry 1. 4 times 0 is 0, plus the 1, it's going to be 1 here. So now let's multiply times 1. So let's recall that we're leaving a space here. You can put an X or a 0, however you like. So here we're moving 2 spaces, 0 or X's, however you like. So 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 0 is 0. Let's add now. So it's going to be, okay, this was an 8. So 2 becomes 2, 9 plus 8 17, carry a 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 makes 6, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 4, plus 2 is 6, 1 plus 3 is 4, and this is a 0. Okay, now how many decimals do I have in total? 1, 2, 3. Let's count it again. 1, 2, 2 on top, 2 decimals here, and 1 decimal here. So in total is a 3 decimal. 1, 2, 3 spaces. So our answer is going to be what? 04.672. Well, we don't write the 0 here, so our answer must be 4.672.